Hello, and welcome to the Whiny Mom Podcast, a place where moms can whine and whine after their kids go to bed at night. It's the judgment-free zone where we come to share our struggles and to share laughs about the ridiculous situations we find ourselves in every day and to just talk about the stuff going on in our lives. How are you tonight?
I am good. I just got back from being out of town. So,
Nice.
yeah, I had a fun little 3-day,
How was it?
2-day getaway with my family.
On your little, well, not quite a staycation because you went somewhere, so
Yeah.
congrats.
A few hours away. We went up to the mountains to Glenwood Springs. And it was my daughter's like pre-birthday outing.
Birthday week.
She had fun. You know, we went like walking around town. It was a little chilly, but not too bad. It wasn't snowing. So we got to kind of explore a little bit. And they already have like their Christmas lights and stuff up, like on the trees and stuff. So it was really nice. And then we went to the hot springs. Girls really enjoyed that. It's nice. It was nice to just like relax, you know.
You like had an anime episode?
Huh?
So you had an anime episode.
An anime episode.
The Hot Springs episode.
Yeah, it was cool. I don't know if you've ever been to Hot Springs, but
I haven't. Oh no, I want to go.
It's a good time. We went to the Glenwood Springs, which is more like family orientated. It has like a really, really big like family pool, and then it has a couple of smaller ones. We normally go to the Iron Mountain ones when it's just me and my husband, and that one's my favorite.
Iron Mountain is the name of the storage facility that the bank uses for our long-term storage.
Oh, random.
That's funny. Yeah. Makes sense. Iron Mountain. It's secure. That's funny. There's a hot spring named that.
But it's so nice. It like really relaxes you, you know. It's just a way to like just get away from everything. It feels nice, like the contrast of like the temperatures, you know, like being in a hot pool and then it being chilly outside.
Mm-hmm. Sounds soothing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I just realized your daughter just turned 10.
Yeah, she's turning 10.
Double digits now
on Saturday. Yeah,
oh,
she's turning 10.
I just noticed. Well, she's not 10 yet, okay? She's still in the single digits.
Not yet. What are you drinking today?
So I went a little hard tonight since we're actually filming this on election night. This is Captain Morgan White Rum with cherry 7-Up. My daughter got to pick the soda. She went with me to go like drop off my ballot and go to the store. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, look, there's cherry flavored Pepsi. Because I wanted to get like Pepsi or Coke. And she likes cherry. She goes, look at that one. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah, we stopped by Trader Joe's on our way home because it's like up north on the other side of town.
Nice.
So it was on our way. And I got 4 bottles of Chardonnay. It was $24.
Hell fucking yeah.
And I pull up to the register and the guy's like, all Chardonnay, huh? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I like. But every bottle, right now I'm drinking one called Rebuttal. And it's a California.
That's perfect.
I know. It's a California wine. It's really good, actually. It's kind of strong. I've already drank like half a bottle though.
Nice.
And then I got a few others. And they were all like $4 a bottle. So
it's like going back in time, man.
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh my gosh. This last weekend I went to a wine tasting party where we did blind wine tasting and for 12 different wines, and I got 3 of them right.
Oh wow.
I lost. The winner got 7. But I got like 3rd place. Everyone else got like 2 or none, and like one person got 4.
Which ones did you get right?
There was no Chardonnay, so that sucked. There was one white, and they had like what they were at the bottom that you could choose from. Mm. So we looked up which one of them was white. So I cheated on that one. But I got the Cabernet Sauvignon and then the Pinot Noir.
Okay.
Because I was the only one who could tell them apart. That was funny. Totally the whole time in my head. I'm like, Pinot Noir? Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir. I'm like, has anyone else seen Kimmy Schmidt? Like, has anyone in this room seen Kimmy Schmidt? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, Pinot Noir. Like posing dramatically and nobody got the joke.
That's funny.
It's the best episode of that show. Anyway.
That sounds
Because it's
cool.
yeah, and also it's called Pinot Noir. So I'm like, it's obviously gonna be the darkest wine. Whichever one's darkest, that's the Pinot Noir. Duh.
Right.
Whatever. And if you don't know what Cabernet tastes like, then like I don't know, that's on you. Because it's not
Dry.
It's very distinctive. It's
Yeah.
not it's also like purple. So like way too much. But yeah, they paired it with like cheeses and stuff, and it was really fun. I had a good time.
Oh, that sounds
Never
like
done anything like
fun.
that before. What else have you been up to? How was your weekend?
Well, on Saturday before we went on our trip, one of my daughters had a basketball game, and it was quite an event. So my husband popped one of his tires in his car. So
Oh God.
we had this basketball game to go to. It's her first game, so we were like, well, she can't miss it, you know.
I mean,
So we didn't have time to change the tire because we have like there's stuff going on. So he's like, well, you're gonna have to drop me off at work. So we get up at like 6:45 that morning, head out, drop him off at work, come back home, get dressed, and then we head out to this game. And it's like way across town, like up north, like 30-40 minutes away. Hella traffic. Like 10 o'clock on a Saturday.
Why are these games so far away? My kids' soccer games are like that too. I'm like, why am I driving 45 minutes to some random ass park? Like, are you kidding me?
They do it at like the nicer schools, and it's through the YMCA, which is I think their offices are up north. So, but anyway, so we head up that way, and I only have like I'm running low on gas, so I'm like freaking out. I'm like, okay. I'm like seeing how many miles it is to get there and how many miles I have in my car. I'm like, I think I can make it. And so I'm driving
just
up
like,
there.
Just like white knuckling it.
Yeah. I'm like, well,
I do that shit all the time.
If it gets too low, I'll pull over. If not, I think we can make it. So we get off the exit and
we'll pull over and run the rest of the way. I'm just kidding.
We get off the exit. There's like 2 miles left in my tank. I'm like, okay, I think we're good because there was only like a few more streets down. So we get there and I'm like, we were still a little early because we got there quite early just because we wanted her to practice before, or I wanted her to practice before. So I was like, let's go to the gas station real quick. So I make a U-turn because I seen a gas station on the way there. Make a U-turn, go to the gas station, get gas. And I'm like, okay, I'm like pumped. I'm like, okay, I did it.
I got like $10 worth of gas. We're going.
I got gas. Like I'm on time. Everything's good. So we get there and there's already a whole bunch of kids there. And I'm like, well, I've never been to any of her practices. Only her dad has. So I'm like, do you see your coach? Like, where's your coach?
Looks like?
I don't know what your coach looks like. And she's like, no. And then she's like, I can't remember. And I'm just like, oh my God. And so I'm like, I know she's the blue team, and ages 8 through 9 or whatever. And so I see this guy who was coaching girls with like the little blue uniform on, and he had a blue uniform on. And I was like, hey, I think you're my daughter's coach. I haven't met you yet. Like a fucking idiot. I haven't met you yet. We haven't been to any of the practices. This is Audrey. And he is just like, I don't think she's on my team.
You're like, can't she be?
I'm just like, she's on the blue team. This is ages 8 through 9, right? And he's like, yeah, but she's not on my list. And I'm like, okay, I haven't seen her before. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go up to the referee guy. And I was like, hey, like, I'm trying to find my daughter's coach. I'm not sure what's going on here. And I show him my schedule. And I was like, this is her coach and her name and whatever. And he's like, oh, they played at 9:30.
What the fuck do you mean they played at 9:30? Do you see the schedule in my hand?
I was like, well, the schedule says 11:30. Like, we came here early. Like, we're on time. And he's like, no, they already played. And I was like, fuck. So I'm like texting my husband. I'm like, bro, like they already played and I don't know what's going on. Like, this is the schedule you sent me. And he's like, oh, hold on. And apparently he has like the app
Yeah,
where they
those.
like send you notifications and stuff. And apparently he just changed his phone, so it was on his old phone and it wasn't on his new phone. So I guess they did email him the schedule change, but he didn't know. And so yeah.
This has happened to me so many times with my kids, and it is the most devastating thing. Like, you try so fucking hard,
Yes.
and it's so crushing.
We woke up early. We did all this extra
You
stuff.
did everything right.
Like,
You won.
I got there on time, you know, like I was trying to like really just, you know, be that mom just on top of her shit. And then I wasn't on
But
top
you
of
were. You were.
So yeah, so I was like,
So
sorry,
crushing.
honey,
I'm so
we gotta
sorry.
go. Like
And then was she upset?
She was a little upset. But it is what it is. And then we get in the car, and of course my GPS takes me the long way home, and we're like stuck in traffic for literally like an hour. And yeah, that wasted the majority of my day.
Sometimes life isn't fair.
Yeah, and it's like I had so much to do too. I hadn't packed for a trip. I had hella laundry to do. I wanted to clean my house before leaving, and it was just so irritating. My baby was having meltdowns. She was like fed up by the time we got home, and she would just like not stop talking or leave me alone.
Oh, I remember. I called you. Yeah. I remember the jabbering.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, poor thing. That is so fucked up. I am so sorry. Truly.
Oh, my kids have a 2-hour delay tomorrow due to the snow.
Wait, a 2-hour delay? So they just can't go. How the fuck are you going to get them to school 2 hours late? That's not an option. School or no school. Make up your goddamn mind, school district.
They do that all the time.
Unacceptable.
Like, you can't go to work for 2 hours because you got to take your kids 2 hours late.
Yeah, fuck it. 2 hours of sick time, right?
Yeah. But luckily,
almost over.
I'm on vacation, so.
All right. Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So I get to sleep in a little bit, regardless.
So you get to sleep in, and you get, oh my God, win-win! And then you get the day to yourself. Oh my God, we thought it was a lose-lose scenario, but it's not.
It's not.
It's like karma making up for your bad weekend. And I don't believe in that shit. Karma's not real, but that just happens.
Thank you, karma.
Fuck you, karma. You suck, but thank you. Oh, I'm so happy now. Wow, what a roller coaster.
I've got 2 kids that go to 2 different schools, so let's see.
Well, the second kid's gonna go to school late too, and guess what? You're gonna sign him in at the office, and what the fuck they gonna say?
She rides the bus though. Different.
Oh.
She lives in a different. She goes to school in a different district, so it's further. It's like
she's older too. She can get herself ready.
Yeah, she does anyways, but I still have to wake her up.
Get her an alarm clock.
I did for her birthday. I got her one because she's deaf.
Oh, but also she's deaf. Is it like a light one?
Yeah, it lights up, but it also has like this little like heart thing that you put underneath your pillow, and it vibrates.
So that's so cool.
So I got her one of those for her birthday.
Does it wake her up, or does she heavy sleeper?
I don't know. I haven't gave it to her yet. It's a present.
Shit. Her birthday's next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. My kids have the boys have an alarm. They've been using it for almost 2 years. Dante will wake up and turn it off and get up and get ready for school, and Edmund just goes back to sleep. That's my boy.
Yeah.
I have to literally like roll him out of bed, and then he'll fall asleep on the floor, half dressed.
Oh, poor baby.
Bro, wake up. The time changed our lives. I got my hour back, and I'm a new person, baby.
You feel better?
I have the most ingrained circadian rhythm. I am a sun person. So when the sun's not up, I'm not up. And when it comes up later, I got to get up later.
Yeah.
You know, and in the spring, I naturally start waking up earlier, and I get all out of sync, and then it changes and I'm back. So I am very, very in favor of time change because that's just how I work.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people aren't like that, but I just want y'all to know who hate the time change As fucked up as it is for you, it'd be fucked up for me if I didn't have it. So I feel like there's no winning, guys. There's no winning. But I'm winning because we still have it. So, you know.
I didn't really notice it because I've been on vacation, but I guess, yeah,
it's going to be so nice when you go back and be like waking up all energized, got your hour back. So a couple days ago was Halloween, and I have a confession to make about what I did on Halloween. My family has had the stomach flu.
No.
Started with my daughter, and then I got it, and then one of my sons got it, and then my husband got it. And the last kid, I'm like, you know, the incubation's like a week. And we're about a week before, it was a weekend before Halloween. When Edmund got it on Friday, my husband got it on Sunday. And I'm like, Dante, are you going to get sick? If you're going to get sick, you need to get sick like right now because you cannot be sick on Halloween. And on like Tuesday night, he kind of said his stomach didn't feel good and he had a little stomach ache, and then he felt better by Wednesday afternoon. He went to school and everything. And I'm like, okay, maybe it just didn't hit you. It wasn't that hard of a stomach flu. It was more on like the mild side. I'm like, like when I got it, it took me out for a day. I like went to work and went home early, and then the next day I was fine. And same with everyone else. Like I took him out for like a day. So I'm like, okay, he's fine. No. On Halloween, I pick him up from school because I took the day off because I am a fucking Halloween nut, like you all know. So I was out there like leaf blowing my lawn and like setting up all my extra stuff. Like I've got like a bubbling cauldron, and I've got like little those electronic tea lights I like put under mounds of dirt. So like the skeleton I have that comes up out of the dirt looks like it's glowing underneath it, and all this extra little like weird details. We were like getting the fog machine ready and all this shit, right? Because my husband, it was his last day at his job, and those bitches wouldn't let him leave early. And I'm like,
oh, rude. I would have just left.
Or won't. But this month he's using his vacation and sick time, so he couldn't piss them off, or he would have lost all his sick time. So like I get it, but I'm like, can't or won't. Anyway. So I was doing all this extra shit, and I go get my kids. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting you guys. We're going to get ready for Halloween. It's going to be great. We eat dinner, and I made skull-shaped pizza, and it was fucking bomb. Mm-hmm. And then one of my sons takes like a bite of his pizza, and then all of a sudden goes, I don't feel like eating. And I'm like, what's wrong? Because I just don't really feel like I have an appetite. So I'm like, okay, well, sweetie, like, you know, it's fine. You don't have to finish it. And then all of a sudden he starts throwing up.
Oh, no.
I was like, no. His costume was $50. One, first thought, because I'm cheap. Second thought, he can't miss Halloween. He can't miss Halloween. Thank God we went to a trick or treat a couple days ago. So at least he got to like wear his costume and whatever. But I'm just like, he can't miss Halloween. We planned a trick or treat with his best friend. They're meeting up. So he finally throws up. And I'm like, sweetie, do you feel like you're up to it? He's like, yeah, I feel better because he just threw up. I'm like, all right, let's get you in your costume. Let's go. You have like 15 minutes, you know? So he gets his costume on. Less than 10 minutes later, I have to walk down the street and get him. He has to come home, and he's just laying on the couch. And I felt hella bad. And I'm like, fuck, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, Dante. Like, I literally like told him, I'm like, if I could, like, I'd do horrible things. I'm not going to say what the horrible things were on this podcast right now, but I was like, I would do, if that could make you better right now, there is nothing I wouldn't do. Almost nothing. And I'm just like, you know what, it's gonna be okay, buddy. But like, we cast a spell. We like carved a happy face with a T next to it into a candle and put it in a piece of candy, and like we like, you know, did everything because it's Halloween. It's fun. I was trying to cheer him up. So I told him, I was like, if at any point you feel well enough, I will drive you to meet your family and friend, and I'll drop you off. And then if you don't feel good, I will come pick you up. And I did. About 45 minutes, an hour later, I drove him to meet them. He was out for about 35 minutes. And then my husband called me. He was like, he's got to come home. So I drove down there and we traded, and I walked the kids the rest of the way home because they were already on their way home at that point. They were like probably like a quarter mile away. And he drove him home because I'm like, I want to get some trick or treat time. Like, you know, I probably gave my entire neighborhood stomach flu.
Oh no, that's horrible.
I don't even care.
No regrets.
No regrets. That's my confession. I told him, I'm like, don't grab the candy, let them put the candy in your bag. Don't touch anything.
Oh my goodness.
We probably gave our whole neighborhood stomach flu, and I don't even care. That's my confession. I did that, and I'm not sorry because my child was more important.
Poor kid.
Poor baby. Oh, my dog was fucking going nuts. I had her just like in my room with her food in my bathroom. So like he came and hung out with her. He was so sweet. He came and sat with her for a little while, but it's okay. It was eventful. It was. They just like always get sick on holidays. I'm like, God, I think I have too many kids because one of them's always sick on holidays.
Yeah, it always happens that way, and it's the season. It's just going around.
Yeah. It's all good though. It's all good. So
at least he got a little bit of trick or treat time.
yeah, he did. So and he was happy, and then his siblings shared their candy. They were very sweet about it. Yeah, we got a lot of trick or treaters this year. All right. So do you want to get into tonight's topic after we haven't talked in a while, so just catching up. That was fun.
Yes. So on today's episode, we're going to have a little true crime episode. Or
I would make Twilight Zone noises, but I'm very self-conscious right now. I'm going to do it anyway.
She said, I'm going to do it anyways.
Had just enough rum and cherry 7-Up.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, there's been some interesting things lately.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to talk about the Colorado incident first?
Yeah, so crazy story recently in Colorado. They found the head and hands of Amanda Overstreet. She was a 16-year-old girl that was last seen in 2005, and they found her in a freezer.
You want to tell the story of how they found her? Because this is where it's wild.
So apparently the house was sold, and it was like a hoarder type situation. And the buyer that bought the house, there was a bunch of stuff that was left over in the house from the previous owners. So they had the freezer in the garage, and apparently this one article I read, posted allegedly, yeah, she posted the freezer for free online. And this was back in January 12th. So that's when the initial discovery was done. And they just got the DNA back, saying that it was her. But
oh shit!
It's been an ongoing thing.
That's why it took so long.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So the people go to pick up the freezer or whatever, and I guess there was still some like meat in there, so they started emptying it out. And in the bottom, they found a plastic bag. And when they pulled it out to see what was inside of it, the head rolled out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, according to authorities, she was the daughter of the previous owner. Her mom, her name was Leanne Overstreet Ermer.
Her mom was Leanne okay.
And supposedly Amanda was adopted by her grandma when she was 3. And then she lived in Texas until 2004 when her grandmother became like really ill with terminal cancer. And so she ended up, at that point, she ended up having to go live with her bio mom, which is Leanne. So shortly after that, grandma dies. And her mother says that Amanda had ran away. So nobody went looking for her. She was never reported missing by her parents.
Well, I know you had told me too that her stepdad was claiming he had taken her back to relatives. Was it Texas, right?
Yeah.
Where she was from. And then when he came back, she was gone, right?
Yeah, so there's a couple scenarios around the incident. So people are speculating that it was either the stepfather, who apparently died back in 2021 from cardiac arrest due to like severe COVID or something like that.
Okay, so like complication. Okay.
Others, believe that the mother was very much involved in the murder.
Well, I feel like with this one, like she either actively like chose not to figure out what was going on. She might have been like, what do you call that? I can't, fuck, there's a phrase for this. Basically, like she just chose not to like investigate it. Like she knew what was going on, but it was never confirmed. But like she just
She wasn't important. Yeah.
Yeah. Or she
I
was
mean, like,
involved, worst case scenario.
one, like, how do you forget that there's body parts in the freezer is like beyond me.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe it was like maybe she didn't use the freezer, maybe she didn't know that was there, but she knew something happened. She just kind of like at the very least, she had to know something, you
Yeah,
know?
and I was like, secondly, how do you not go looking for your missing daughter? Like, that's just shady to me. And another article that I read,
Right.
it was saying one of her cousins had asked her what happened, and she's like, "Well, I went looking for her for 2 hours, and she never came back." So it was basically done.
Well, I know you had told me too. Well, there was like claims that when he came back, he said he'd hit a deer.
Yeah, so in a recent article that I read, allegedly, I don't know if this,
again, we're not involved in the case. This is literally just speculation, but
I don't know if this
we don't know if it's
article is 100% valid, if it's a valid source or not, but they did indicate that there was a bullet hole in her head. So it also said that there was text messages between the realtor and her friend, stating that she had heard from the investigator that the mom and Bradley, which was the stepfather, the mom had Bradley take Amanda to Texas because they were going to take her back because apparently they weren't getting along or whatever. And then on the way there, something happened. Bradley comes back home and he tells the mom Amanda ran away. And apparently he had hit a deer on the road and he had something like in the bag. And he said, "I'm going to put this in the freezer, but you can't go looking in there or whatever." So that was one article I read.
I wonder if that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, it does make sense. That's how she could kind of like give it the plausible deniability. That's how she could like not like completely ignore it, but like justify it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it kind of sounds like she had like a real mental health issue going on. Like she was an extreme hoarder. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like she was all there to begin with. I mean, she didn't raise a child from the get-go, so there's clearly a reason why.
I just like deep down want to believe that she didn't do it. Maybe she just fucking did it.
Maybe I mean, I just don't see how you can be a mom and not go looking for your kid or even question it.
For 20 something years. When was it? 2004 is last. It's literally 20 years ago.
She was last seen in 2005.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That is so sad. That's so sad.
Yeah, and also in this article, it's a little different because she says that Leanne had told her, the mom, this is the realtor, Leanne had told her that she was going to take the freezers and asked her if she could pile the meat there for the junk guys to take away. So I guess the junk people had came and they came to like pick up the stuff or whatever, and the lady that was there with them said that she wanted to donate the meat to like a dog rescue center or something. And she was
a slightly different version of the story.
Yeah, so the realtor was standing in front of her yard on her phone when the man runs out and he's like, "We found a head."
Yeah, because I thought it was like people bought the freezer like from like Facebook Marketplace or something.
Yeah, there's two scenarios. Yeah, and so
I wonder which one.
So, in the message it says that media said it was only the hands and the head that were found, but she says that there was a lot more than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the fuck was he doing with it? Or I'm like, what were they doing? And like, how do you just leave it there when you move? Like, I have so fucking many questions right now about this.
Yeah, one of
So
the text messages I read.
disturbing. I
and
have
this
to
is
believe she didn't know it was there.
One of the text messages that I read in this article, and again, I can't find this article again, so I don't know how well of a source it is.
Yeah.
But it had said that he was like a heavy like fisher, and that he could have possibly been using the rest of her body for bait.
What? That's wild.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Like, I
That's
could
like-
see as like maybe a way to dispose of it without getting caught or something.
Caught.
Like he put it in multiple places. Like,
Mhm.
oh, caught pun. Fuck.
It's terrible, and
That is-
I hate this. I hate
that is
talking about it.
awful. That's
but
so awful. I don't know. I hope that I feel bad for her.
yeah,
There's no hope. Like, she's gone. It's real sad.
Yeah, I really hope that they bring justice somehow to Amanda.
Someone fucking pays for this bullshit.
It's just
That's
terrible
horrible.
that the family and the system really failed her in this. Like,
Yeah,
it's
at
a
least
very sad story.
someone found her, so like there's hope
And I always
that they'll
think
get
like,
conclusion to this, but that is, you can't bring her back.
yeah, when things like this happen, it's like they're wanting to be found.
Yeah,
That's what I feel like. She was like wanting this closure. Like, thank goodness.
yeah. Well, that's really, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's
Speculative. I
developing.
really think the parents had something to do with it, though. Like, how could they fucking not? Obviously, it was in the freezer in their house. Like, one of them did it.
Mhm.
Motherfucker died. Fuck him. I'm angry at him. I've had
And that's the worst part, though. It's like you can't really bring justice to the situation if it was him. Like,
no,
it is what it is.
it's already done.
Yeah.
Very sad. Another on the true crime theme. I know everyone is fucking talking about this, but I read an article a couple weeks ago and it was like a Walmart employee died in an oven. We don't know what happened. That's all the information. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know what happened? Like, this story literally haunts me. It's so awful. So apparently earlier, well, it's November now. So last month, in October, an employee at a Canadian Walmart, I think it was Halifax, Canada. Sounds right.
I can't remember. It was Canada.
Her name was Grisimran Carr, and she was found in an oven in the Walmart bakery. And nobody knows how she got there. Nobody knows why she was there. Nobody knows anything. The Walmart's still closed, as far as I can tell. That's what it says on but when I'm doing research, it says the Walmart is literally still closed. They've been closed for like weeks now. And nobody knows what happened to her. And it's disturbing, deeply disturbing, and also very confusing because how the fuck do you get locked in an oven? Ovens don't have locks. In case anyone didn't know this, ovens don't fucking lock. You can just get out. There's a release switch inside. There's not a lock on it. And people have demonstrated this, how like inside you can just push it open. There's emergency release and it doesn't even close unless the outside you like close it forcibly and turn it on from the outside. So like, why the fuck was it on? Why the fuck was it on? Even if she was in there, like went in there to clean it or whatever weird ass scenario you can think of, you wouldn't go into it to clean it if it was turned on. Why did it get turned on?
Right.
Who the fuck turned it on?
And I've seen different videos of people
so confused
demonstrating how they work. And yeah, the oven closes and locks from the outside. So
but it's not like it's actually locked, like you can't open it.
Right. You can still open it from the inside. So why wasn't she able to unlock it or get herself out?
The only thing that brings me some measure of comfort is she was probably the only reason she wouldn't be able to get out is there's two and one of them's really fucked up. First one is she was unconscious or dead already.
Yeah.
Which God, I fucking hope so. Or two, actually there's two other scenarios. One, something was broken on the door and Walmart is at fault. Which that's two That's too much. That's literally too much. Or somebody was outside holding it, which like they have cameras. So that I feel like that would have already come out. So it's very unlikely, right? They would have already arrested the person, obviously.
Right.
I would fucking hope.
I mean, there's a high possibility of foul play. Either she was killed previously and put in there, or
I feel like that's the most likely scenario is something happened to her and she wasn't conscious. She was conscious. Like, also, who the fuck turned the oven on? And I feel like that's not what anyone's talking about. Like, why isn't anyone asking that question? Why was the oven fucking on? And maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm just missing something that's like super obvious to everyone else. But like, did you like? I know you read a little, I watched a little bit about it too. Like, do you know why the oven was on? Why isn't anybody asking that?
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows. I don't see how it could have been on.
Why would she go in if it was on? If she was like, if it was an accident, right? Why would she go in if it was on? It literally does not fucking make sense. And I know there's been other scenarios like, oh my God, there's been so many where like, there was a woman, God, I forget the state, somewhere in the South. And she worked at, I feel like it was an Arby's, and the freezer, the handle didn't work. So you remember at the Bear, how we got locked in the freezer because it was broken?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, haha, no, bitch. In this poor woman's scenario, she got locked in there overnight because she was the closing manager and she was there by herself and she died.
Oh
and you know how they found her? They found blood marks on the door from her trying to get out. Her nails were all broken.
Oh, that's terrible.
She froze to death because of the faulty handle that the store didn't fix. And that's like gruesome as fuck. But like, I know that corporations don't fucking care about us. So like, could something like that have happened at Walmart? Absolutely. It's Walmart. Like, they're like the evil corporation. You know what I'm saying? And that's awful. But how did the oven get turned on? You're like, it still doesn't actually make sense. There had to be like something else. And I've seen like speculation and stuff like, oh God, there's so many fucking rumors. And I don't know what happened to Gerson Moran. I don't know. I feel fucking horrible for her. If there was anything in this world I could do, I would not make this unhappen. But I can't. But I've heard like speculations that are being bled in the bakery and her glasses left out and like all these things like foul play, but I can't find the articles people are referencing. I just hear people talking about it. And I don't know where they're getting the information from, but I don't know. There's all kinds of speculation. Like maybe she had a boyfriend who worked at the store, but I can't find any real evidence of that. Obviously her mom worked there. And I've heard like, oh, her mom found her. Okay.
Yeah.
But then I've heard recordings of the 911 tape, but they're saying someone's stuck in the oven and we can't get them out. So I'm like, well, what the fuck was wrong with the door? Why couldn't you open the door? Why couldn't you open the door? Nobody says. What do you mean someone's stuck and you can't? And they ask them, can you unplug it? Can you shut the power off to the building, dumbasses? What are you doing?
And that's in the recording?
Yeah, they literally said someone is stuck. I heard the recording. Someone is stuck and we can't get them out. And they were like, is there any way to cut power to it? Is what they say, I believe. It's not an exact quote, but that's what they said about cutting power to it. And then they don't show the answer. So I'm like, I don't know. It really makes me think it was something fucked up that happened with something broken at Walmart.
Yeah, I think.
But I really don't want to believe that. I don't want to because it's too horrible.
Faulty equipment. I mean,
it's too horrible. I can't. I mean, I know that it's going to come out. I don't think there's ever going to be a satisfactory answer to this, though.
No, it's bad either way.
It's fucking tragic. And maybe we just want to believe that someone did it to her because that would have mean she was already dead. Like, you know? I mean, people like a good murder thriller, but for me, I want to believe she was already unconscious or something. Like, I can't.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Just.
I literally have nightmares about it. I'm like, I need to stop. After this, I'm going to stop researching it because I was like trying to like get some information and I was having nightmares last night.
Yeah, burning alive and drowning in the death are like two of my biggest fears.
Yes. And being buried alive.
Yeah.
That's actually number one.
For you?
Yeah, the other two are real close ties for second.
I think mine
God,
would
it's
be
like an
really-
episode of Final Destination. Ah, fuck. Right? That's what I keep thinking.
poor girls, you know.
I know. There's no justice in this world. None that's harsh enough.
It's very sad.
My condolences
Yes.
to your families and to you. And I don't want to be disrespectful. It's just it is an interesting topic, obviously, but I don't want to disrespect them.
Yes. We're definitely just talking about things we've read. We are not
Again.
professionals here. And yes, our due respects to the families and
I
to
hope they're at
the loved
peace.
ones. Yeah, we hope that they're at peace. And
Whatever they
we
can.
hope that if there is justice to be found, that it is found.
Yeah, whether it's against a person or an evil corporation,
Yeah.
someone's going to pay, I hope. Anyway, on a slightly less depressing note, I did also read an article slightly related to the topic that's much less heavy. It's much lighter. And it was kind of interesting. So apparently in the 1930s, so like 90 years ago, people found the remains of a man in a well outside of a medieval ruins of a castle in Norway.
Mhm.
And recently they've been able to do DNA on him, which they had tried to do previously with his bones and it didn't work. And it was too degraded. All they got was bacterial DNA. And his body you could tell he was grievously injured. He was missing like an arm and a shoulder blade and like part of one of his legs. So they think he died in war. Well, they were able to take DNA samples from his tooth to determine that he was actually 900 years old, almost 900 years old.
Wow.
And he was from, they think, a Viking saga. And I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, despite the fact that I am 97% Danish and 3% Swedish. Yes, that is 100% Scandinavian. I took the DNA test. It is true. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation because I don't actually speak those languages. The Sverris saga, where they went to war against, it just says Roman Catholic. What does it say? Oh, they're just the Roman Catholics, basically, in Norway. And they sacked this castle. And apparently they didn't really like kill the townspeople or anything, but they did destroy literally the entire castle and burn down every building. And then to top things off, they apparently took a dead man. So if they didn't kill anyone, where'd the dead man come from? I'm not buying it, by the way. But I mean, it was war. So apparently they didn't kill like the townspeople. I don't know. That's what the saga claims. They took this dead, apparently soldier, and threw him down the well and then closed it in because they were such good people, apparently, poison the water supply. They found this guy, dated him back to very close to this time period and to be from one of these like ethnic groups. And they think he is the first person they've ever found who is a character in any of the Viking sagas, which a lot of people were like, oh, they're just make-believe, they're not real. But then historians have been like, no, there's actually archaeological evidence for a long time. Like the sagas are real. Like, Greenland, Iceland, they're real places, guys. Like they really have evidence of them being here, and like Vinland is just New England. So like they did discover North America. Like is Greenland not part of North America? I just want to know. I'm gonna get so deep right now. Fuck me. You want to be like, okay, I'm not like anti-Columbus Day. I'm not pro-Columbus Day. I'm very neutral. I don't want to get into that. But how the fuck did Columbus found America? The Vikings were in Greenland in the 1400s. Is Greenland not part of North America? Because it literally fucking is. So how does that work for you guys?
It's very sus.
It's very sus is all I'm saying. I don't want to get into that whole other topic. I just want to make it very clear that the Vikings were in Greenland before before anything happened in the Caribbean. Like, they were there first, and they were also in New England and Canada. So anyway, sidebar. The Viking sagas are just like the history that they had of their people exploring and shit. So they found like a real person, albeit a crazy side character, evidence that he was real. And I feel like that's kind of cool. But also 900-year-old cold case solved, guys.
Right.
It was King Sere ordered this battle. And I don't know if he's the one who threw him down the well, but I'm just saying. Like,
there's a high possibility.
This is cool too. Like, the place was called Baglers, which apparently is Norse for bishop's wand. Fun. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Cold case solved, guys.
The coldest of cold cases.
The coldest. No one cared anymore, but you know what? That didn't stop them from doing that DNA analysis and figuring out who the fuck this person was.
Dude,
like, no, he's a character in this story that we thought was fictional. Turns out he was real.
The evolution of DNA, though, is insane. It's so cool.
It is. It kind of gives you the false like security that all things can be solved by DNA. Like, right? But then sometimes, one, it can be skewed and misinterpreted. And then two, sometimes it's not done right. It can be contaminated. Like, there's all kinds of horror stories I've heard with people being convicted and it turns out they're innocent. And like, you can't trust it too much, but it is fucking crazy how much we can know.
Well, aren't they still trying to solve the Zodiac killer case?
Oh my God, don't.
They pretty much know who it is.
Oh my fucking God. Well, he's dead.
He's dead now. Yeah, he died.
The Golden State. Oh my God, because I'm from California and you literally lived down the street from this motherfucker when they caught him. Like, the Golden State Killer literally was in our
neighborhood.
Like, we ran into this guy. We probably shopped at the same grocery store. This motherfucker who killed, like, terrorized my parents' generation in California, killed like a dozen plus people. They caught him from DNA because one of his family members, I don't know, I've heard two stories. One was that they sent it into DNA to be analyzed, and one was that they like were approached by FBI or whatever. I don't know if it's true. Basically, they used his kids or his grandkids' DNA to catch him.
For the Golden Gate?
Yeah, Golden State. And it was like, what, 30 years later?
Yeah, there's a new documentary out on the Zodiac Killer.
The person who
his name was Arthur Lee Allen, and he was a former elementary school teacher and a convicted.
God, that is so horrifying.
A convicted sex offender.
Scared enough to send my kids to school.
He died in 1992, and then this documentary, it's talking about his stepchildren. I don't know if they were his stepchildren or what they were related to him. I don't know. He would like pick them up. And there's like a little girl and a little boy, and his mom would let them take them traveling with him. And he would basically do the murders while he had these kids like in the car or at the hotel room. Yeah. And he like
God, they're so lucky to be alive.
He like molested the little girl. Like, it's all in the documentary.
Oh my God.
It's insane.
They know who he was. He's dead. He's
dead now. Yeah, and the only evidence they had was like a knife that he gave one of the daughter's grandkids, because apparently she was still keeping in touch with this guy like years later. She was like,
abuse is a bitch, man.
Yeah, she was like manipulated and like
it's a
groomed to like still love him, I guess.
To not know like right from wrong.
So apparently he gave one of her grandkids this knife, and
also he was probably like some very close relative, so it's not like he was going anywhere.
And it's believed that was one of the weapons, but they did the DNA testing on it, and they found blood on it, but there is not enough evidence to be able to like get any DNA relatable to any of the victims. So
fuck. I don't know. When they caught the Golden State Killer, I remember my dad was so happy. He was so happy because like he's from here. And
Mhm.
some of the murders were in this area that I live
The
in,
neighborhood, yeah.
between here and LA. Like, okay, I live in Sacramento area, generally speaking. And some of them were very close to this area. So people were like living in fear at that time. They were living in fear. And like, he was very happy that this person was finally caught. And like, when I watched a documentary about him, it was a documentary that was made just prior to him being caught. And it's fucking fucked up what he did. It's like unspeakable. It's horrible. And it, like the Zodiac killer too. Fucking fuck
Mhm.
him. Fuck him. I hope he's, I don't believe in the afterlife, but if hell is real, I hope it's for these motherfuckers. Okay.
Right.
But
His
like,
name
I was
was
very happy that they caught the person. Let me tell you that, but it's not going to make anything better.
the Golden
It
State
really
Killer,
freaked me the fuck out that he was right there next to me my whole life.
Joseph James D'Angelo.
Yeah.
And he was 78 years old. He
And
died.
he lived like less than a mile from you.
He died in 2019.
Oh, did he? Good.
That's what I'm showing.
Because he was caught in like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, he was a serial killer, serial rapist, a burglar, and peeping Tom.
He was a cop too.
He committed at least 13 murders and 51 rapes and 120 burglaries across California from
live his life.
1974 to 1986.
He just got to live his life. I'm upset that he just died of natural causes. I know that seems vengeful, but I am vengeful. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm upset that he got to just live his life like that after doing such horrific shit. But at least he was held accountable.
Well, it says incarcerated at California State Prison. Maybe he's still alive.
Maybe. I fucking hope
He
so.
was apprehended in April 24th of 2018. That was like
okay. I remember
before I moved. Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally where you were living was like a
Mhm.
mile. Like it was like very close. It was crazy. But like where we grew up was very close. So like he was in the same city as us. Like fuck. That's terrifying. He was just there the whole fucking time. Like oh my god. That scared me. It made me fucking just like shit, who's around me? I can't trust anybody.
Right.
Like this person I could have passed on the street. Fucking serial killer from 30 years ago. Like, do you know that don't leave people?
Well, all of his rapes, like, gosh, I'm like just reading through his.
No, it's
Wikipedia.
bad. It's fucking
It's
bad.
like the first one was in Rancho Cordova. Second
it was
one
like
was in Carmichael.
Carmichael, yeah.
Rancho Cordova, Carmichael, Citrus Heights was his fifth one. Rancho
Yeah,
Cordova,
literally in Citrus Heights.
Carmichael,
Fuck,
Rancho Cordova,
Carmichael?
Citrus Heights, Carmichael, Sacramento, Citrus Heights, Carmichael, Sacramento, Arden
That's
Arcade
why my
area.
dad was so scared of him. It was
Rancho
all around
Cordova,
us.
Orangeville, Carmichael, Sacramento, Orangeville, Citrus Heights, Carmichael, Parkway, and then he started moving a little further.
I know you guys aren't familiar. If you're not literally from Sacramento, you don't understand. These are all suburbs of Sacramento. So they're all like right next to each other. Like if you're from Sacramento, like you're from these places. Like
Into
they're
Stockton,
all like right there.
La Riviera, and then Foothill Farms.
Right? Like literally every single suburb, he was there.
So he was going between like, the Sacramento area and the Bay Area, San Ramon, Concord, San Jose.
I thought he was in LA too, but maybe I'm misremembering.
He was
okay. He was a cop, so I'm thinking he got sent down there and then he came back here to like the Northern California region. Yeah, he was literally like right here. Well, my parents were like here, so they like lived it. They lived it. Scary.
The original Night Stalker. That's what they call him.
Yeah.
He went as far as Santa Barbara. That's far.
Well, I literally think he moved down there for a while and then came back because his family was here. So I think because I'm pretty sure, wasn't he the one who was a cop, right?
I'm trying to find that.
He was like a cop in like Southern California or Stockton or something. And I think he probably had, because like here, like if you're a cop, you go down to Southern California and then you can like transfer later. So he probably went down there because that's where they have a higher population and then transferred back. Like it would make sense if that's what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be like conflating him with someone else, but I think, and it's super frustrating. Like, I don't know. I don't like watching the real true crime. Like, ever since I had kids, I can't watch actual true crime. I just cry uncontrollably and ball up.
He's not dead. He's still alive. So
You know what? Good, he's still in prison.
he's
But also,
in the
I wish he were dead.
California
I
State Prison in Corcoran.
okay, whatever.
But yeah,
I just know it was when around the time my daughter was born, is when they caught him. So I remember like it being a big deal back then.
that's so sad. I just can't imagine like the families and just not like for years not knowing, you know.
At least that motherfucker is paying at least a little bit.
Right. It brings that closure to them. But can you imagine like
you can't. There's no
20, 30 years later? Like,
there's no fixing that. Fuck. There's no fixing that. There's literally no fix. Like, I don't know. I used to be really into crime dramas when I was younger, but anymore, I get like 5 minutes in and I'm just in a fetal position crying. So it's terrible. It's our true crime episode.
Yeah.
It was dark. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to be that dark. But sometimes life sucks. And I don't know. I feel like it's up to like us, like, not literally like we're doing any fucking thing here.
We're not doing anything.
It's good. It's up to good people to do good things to try to like balance out the universe, I guess, because you can't undo the bad. You can never undo the bad. Thousands of years will go by and whatever was tragic will still be tragic, but maybe we can like be a positive force and do some good, and that's all I believe. Anyway, do the best you can.
Don't
leave the best mark you can. Do your best. Like, leave some positivity in the world because there's a lot of dark shit that happens in this world and it needs people to be positive.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy people out there and a lot of evil.
And love the people around you because you never know when some crazy shit might happen.
Yeah, you never know.
Never miss a chance. Like, hang out with people, tell people you love them every chance you get because you don't know. Like, I was like, fuck. Like, you were saying, like, I was a school teacher. Like, I, like, every day when I drop my kids off at school, like, it's hard for me.
You never know. Like, I have a hard time having my kids, like, go hang out with their friends. Like, I don't know who their parents are, you know? Like, I'm going through this struggle right now.
And I worry, too, like, school's not safe anymore. Like, there's been kids dying at school. Every day I drop my kids off at school, I'm just like, shit, man. And not to mention, like, other people, and I don't know. It's hard.
Trust anybody anymore.
It's really hard. But I also like think back to my own childhood, and I was thinking about like your scenario, and my mom definitely would have left one of us alone with the other kids to go drop off my dad at work. She'd been like, "You guys are fine." Like, I remember being left home alone when I was very young. And I will leave my kids alone for like errands. Like, I'm like, I need to go to the store to get like a few things. You're gonna be home for like 40 minutes by yourself. You guys gonna be okay? I'll be down the street. Like, you know, I don't leave them home like all day, but I do leave them home alone, my older kids, to like go run like an errand or like do something, like take one kid to practice and your dad will be home in like 15 minutes. Like, you're fine. But it's kind of like we worked up to it. We worked up to it like 5 minutes at a time.
I don't know. I felt like I was just talking to my husband about this the other day. I think about Halloween and how like when we were little, like, I mean, not my parents, but most parents would just let their kids run around. Like, yeah, like as young as like my girls, you know,
like 9 or 10. Yeah, no, definitely, absolutely.
I mean, it's like people are just. You just can't trust people anymore. There's so much out there. Like,
but you have to teach them too. Like, you have to educate the children on how the world is, and you do have to be real with them. Like, my kids want to go to the park down the street. I'm like, you guys can go like to the part of the park that I can look down the street and see, but you can't, like, if I can't see you from the middle of the street, you can't do that. Like, I need to be able to like look at you because there's people at the park. Where like at home they're by themselves. I don't know. It's like a whole different. I'm trying to work them up to be able to go ride their bikes or whatever by themselves, like I used to do, and I feel like they're naive, like they don't know anything.
Yeah, it's just different times, I think, and there's a lot more going on out there in the world, and
Yeah.
it's just hard to trust people nowadays. You don't know what their intents are, you know.
Yeah, but like think about it this way, you never did. You never did.
Yeah.
You really never did.
But
So,
like we've lived through it. I think that's the thing. It's like, yeah, our parents were so lenient and let us do all these things, but like a lot of us have lived through things that, you know,
yeah,
made
and
us
you want to
aware
protect your
that
kids
we
from
want to
that.
protect our kids. Yeah.
Absolutely, you want to protect your kids from that. So yeah, my kids don't have as much freedom as I had when I was younger, but I try not to. I guess I'm trying to like get them exposure a little bit because
Yeah.
I feel like they're starting to get to the age where they're gonna need to start learning about the world. And it's like, it's hard because I want to tell them the truth. The truth sucks. You know what I mean? Like, the truth fucking sucks. Like, I want them to be innocent and beautiful forever, but like, the world's ugly and it's getting to that point where they're going to have to learn that, and it sucks. It really does.
For sure.
It's hard. I feel like my parents did it with such ease. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal for them. Right? Do you feel that way?
I don't know. My parents were a little different, I think.
Yeah. It was like not, I don't know, like maybe they were ignorant or maybe they didn't care. I don't know. But I just feel like they didn't struggle with it like I do.
Right.
So there's that. Yay.
More anxiety for us moms.
And that is our struggle. Like, okay, I hate calling us millennials, but that's what the world's called us now. So that's what we are. Generation Y, bitch. That's what we used to be called, but whatever. At this generation, I feel like we do have a lot more like accountability. I'm going to call it accountability than our parents had.
Yeah.
Where we're more aware of our accountability, and it does make it hard. It makes it harder on us. So, you know what? We're doing so good. We're doing fine. We're doing so good. So much better. I'm proud of us.
I hope so.
No, we are. We really are. And it's not just like literally you and me. I mean, like collectively as a generation, I think we're doing a good job. So there's that. Oh, fuck. We should wrap this shit up. It's very long.
I know. We're in an hour 6.
We're just rambling. I had such hard alcohol to like, I had like 3 glasses of rum and cherry 7-Up. Each one was like at least 2 shots.
Damn. I had a whole bottle of wine. So.
I don't even want to like, I'm very excited about politics, but I also don't want to know what's happening right now because it will just stress me out. Yeah. So, yay.
That was my first time voting today.
Oh my God, that's right. That is so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. I voted in person like a real citizen. No,
I love no, I always vote in person, but I do drop off my ballot that I've pre-filled out now because I have fucking kids I always have to take with me.
That's what I wanted to do. Like I had my ballot ready to go and Mike was like, no, just go in there and vote in person. It's better.
No, it's literally exactly the same thing.
I was like, I had like so much anxiety about it. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like what happens? Like, and I was like, it's literally, they literally just give me the ballot and you drop it in the box. I could have just done the same thing.
I just drop it in the box. I go up and I ask them, hey, check this. I signed it. Do I need to do anything else? I like wrote my name and my address. I'm like, is this okay? I always go make them look at it. And they're like, yeah, it's all filled out. You're good to go. I'm like, okay. And then I drop it in the thing.
I'm like, babe, I just waited in line for no reason.
Yeah,
I already
it's the
had
same
my
thing.
ballot in hand. Like I literally had it in the car with me.
You know what though? Filling out the thing at the little partition.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys use a paper where you fill in the thing, or do you have like a punch card? Do you use a machine? What do you do?
No, so you go in and then they have like a little laptop and they'll give you like a sheet and you have to sign it and they ask you if your address is the right address, blah blah blah. And then they move you to another room and it has like the little, you know, like
Oh,
when
that's
you're at
weird.
the
We have
DMV.
like a person who literally has a page of like 100 flip pages, and they look at your ID and they find your name and they cross it off, and then you go to the thing.
No, they're like, they took my ID and he's like, are you registered to vote in Colorado? Because I had already registered and I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, got you. He had me sign a paper and then he gave me my ballot and I went into that little enclosed area and I filled it out.
Where they have like it's like you're taking the SATs in elementary school. It's like a paper thing around you.
Yeah, and then you just put the little cover on it and then you take it over to the box and they're like, just slide it into the box and then you're good to go. And I'm like, I could have just done that with my ballot.
My husband yelling at the dog. Okay, you should vote with like at least once. I did that several times, my first several times voting. And now that I've done it a few times, I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable like leaving. I don't mail in my ballot. I don't drop it off early. I don't know. I'm fucking weird. And I also want to be like a part of the excitement. Like it's fun for me. It's like a weird holiday. I want to like go down there and feel the vibes. But also I'm like, I don't know. I just want to like make sure I'm personal because it's important to me. I want to like personally drop it off. But I usually fill it out beforehand and then drop it off. Last election, because it was like a weird local election and there was only 3 things on the ballot, I just filled it out there. And Guinevere went with me, and it was really funny because when she goes with me, they give her a sticker for herself. So she went again with me this time, and she got her own sticker again. And she's like, I voted. And I'm like,
That's cute.
That's so fun. I'm so glad that you got to do all that. That's great. It's fun to like fill it out in the little thing and like do the whole thing. Like, you got to do it at least once.
Yeah. So that was exciting. First time ever.
Woo! Well, you want to close us?
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Whiny Moms, for joining us on our true crime, unsolved crime. I'm not sure. Episode.
Cold case, solved crime, all the crime. Crime sucks, guys.
It was very fun researching these things, and I hope that you guys found it interesting.
Was it fun or was it disturbing?
It was a little disturbing, honestly.
It was interesting.
But interesting.
Yeah, it was both.
Thank you again for listening to us, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please follow, subscribe, comment. If you guys have any crazy true crime stories you want to talk about, let us know. Anything you know about the stories we talked about today, feel free to comment. And again, we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
I'm just making weird hand gestures. I'm sorry.
Hope you guys have a lovely day. Happy election day.
Woo! America. Fuck yeah.
America.
Anyway, what was that movie? What was that called?
What movie?
America. Fuck yeah.
It
was from a movie with the action figures. Team America. Any fans out there? We're fucking weird. We reference weird things all the time. If you catch any of them, you're our people.
Have things that we reference that we don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. It's just all memory.
It's just natural at this point.
Anyway, love you guys. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.